Hey gamers, and welcome back to another GeForce Now Thursday. If you caught our short, we put it out there that there were going to be games, country, and of course a big game celebrating its 10th anniversary. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to give you 5 reasons to be excited about this week's GeForce Now news. And what better way to kick it off with reason number 1, and that is going to start with a question. What does Sony and GeForce Now have in common? Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking they're both gaming companies. Correct? That is true. But as of today, they are both in Japan because they have brought GeForce Now SuperPods to Tokyo. So, alongside the Alliance partner that was already there with the 30 series, you can now go direct into the Tokyo data center and have access to the SuperPod that brings the 4080 series raw power, and the absolute ultimate performance is going to be available to that market. That is a fantastic way to kick off the news, and that leads us into reason number 2, so we're going to throw over to that. Reason number 2, following on from the news of Japan, we've seen this week the news that Capcom are bringing more games to GeForce Now and available for you to stream later this year, but also one title starting this week. Now, to kick us off game-wise, the first game they've confirmed they're going to be adding at a later date is Resident Evil Village. With Ethan Winters, you experience a survival horror like nothing before in the 8th major installment in the Resident Evil franchise, Resident Evil Village. With detailed graphics, intense first-person action, and absolutely masterful storytelling, the terror has never felt more realistic. Now, we said earlier that one of the games from Capcom were coming this week, and that is true, and that is Mega Man X Dive. As it reimagined the world of the Mega Man X series, it's now getting an offline version. Strengthen your characters and weapons with a variety of power-ups to make them all your own. Then test them out in the side-scrolling action of What If Worlds in Mega Man X. And last, but certainly no means least, one that captures nostalgia for many of us and many years of bashing buttons. And that is Capcom's Street Fighter 6. It launched worldwide last year, and it represents the next evolution of the Street Fighter series. Street Fighter 6 spans 3 distinct game modes, including World Tour, Fighting Ground, and Battle Hub. And what a way to round off the trio of Capcom games that are going to be coming to GeForce Now in the near future. Of course, as we said, Mega Man X is going to be available today, the other 2 will follow later. With the hop, skip and a jump, we've made it to reason number 3 already, and that is we mentioned that a game is having a big milestone. If you hadn't guessed from our short earlier, that is ESO Online. You can join 22 other million players that have been playing ESO for 10 years in this award-winning adventure multiplayer RPG and experience a limitless adventure in persistent Elder Scrolls world. You get to battle, craft, steal or explore and combine different types of equipment and abilities to create your own style of play. It is worth also adding that there is also going to be a new chapter, the Gold Road, which is going to be launching in June. So that is something that's worth working its way up to, and join in on the celebrations, as there was going to be a celebration on April the 5th celebrating all things ESO and all of its various achievements that it's had. And this is a fantastic achievement, bringing this back to GFN, and of course it's a game that many people have been asking for to be brought. Reason number 4 takes us to the Epic Game Store and the free Epic Game of the Week, which is Thief. Garrett the Master Thief steps out of the shadows in the city and this treacherous place where the Baron's watch spreads a rising tide of fear and oppression. His skills are the only thing he can trust. Even the most cautious citizens and their best guarded possessions are not safe from his reach. Don't forget to head over to the Epic Game Store and collect this week's free game before it expires next week. That brings us to our 5th and final reason to be excited for this week's GFN news, and that is the fact that across the course of the week and the month, we've got a total of 7 games launching this week. Now obviously we've already mentioned Mega Man X, and we've already mentioned Thief and ESO, which are available today. That leaves us with a grand total of 4 games to pick up, which are Ark Survival Ascended, which is on Xbox and available on Game Pass, We've got Sons of Valhalla, which releases on April the 5th on Steam. We've then got Super Hot Mind Control Delete on Xbox, which is also available by PC Game Pass, and then Turbo Golf Racing on Xbox, which is also available on PC Game Pass. In terms of the rest of the month, we know that there is a total of 20 games that are going to be arriving through the course of the month to be able to be played on GeForce Now. We're not going to quite give away some of those yet because we might do a follow-up video with some games to look forward to in the rest of April. However, within that, what we would say is we know that from GFN's perspective, even though they've committed to 20 games, it's very rare that they only deliver what they commit to. So we would expect somewhere in the region of possibly 25 to 30, with maybe 1 or 2 surprises along the way. That's it for this week's news. Let us know in the comments below what you thought, and if there's any games in particular that you're excited to try out. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to drop a like and a subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.